July 2006. While Americans celebrated their country's 230th birthday, 7 ballistic missiles were launched by North Korea, threatening the entire Pacific region, including the United States. Although never hitting friendly territory, the event proved that ballistic missiles are now an active weapon of terror and potentially mass destruction. The missiles were launched just 2 months after North Korea sent to Iran its first delivery of ballistic missiles, with a range capable of threatening Europe and Israel. These recent events accentuate the urgency for the Missile Defense Agency to accomplish its mission, to protect the U.S. homeland, the land and population centers of friendly and allied nations, and the forward deployed forces of the U.S. Armed Services from ballistic missile attacks. Within a few short years, the agency has aggressively developed, tested, and deployed an integrated layered defense system of sea, ground, and space-based sensors, in addition to ground and sea-based interceptors. These missile defense assets are woven together by an advanced command, control, and battle management communications network, spanning the United States and reaching from the Pacific all the way to Europe. The synergy of all these components yields the fighting power to defeat ballistic missile attacks. The layered ballistic missile defense system is comprised of a network of sensors and interceptors designed to detect, track, and shoot down ballistic missiles. Each interceptor component specializes in countering specific threat missile types, ranges, and trajectory phases. The goal of layered defenses is to connect individual defense components into a coordinated system. This will give the warfighter multiple opportunities to intercept threat missiles carrying weapons of mass destruction payloads before they devastate population centers and destroy key assets.
Layered defenses in the missile defense system is a time-proven concept for military capability, which is defense in depth. And what that means is that you are presenting different layers of a defense capability to the attacker that tremendously complicates their ability to successfully hit the target that they're aiming for. We apply a layered defense concept in the missile defense system by virtue of establishing defended capabilities in each one of the 3 phases of an enemy missile flight. The first is the boost phase, while the enemy missile is boosting through the atmosphere. The next is the mid-course phase, or while it is coasting, that is most likely in space, and then in the terminal phase, or the reentry portion of that flight. And by putting intercept capability in each one of these phases, it tremendously complicates an attacker's proposition for being able to successfully attack the target.
DCA, more assets in the air at this time. Copy?
A command and control hierarchy is the foundation of this integrated layered defense system.
They're outside of target area.
And it optimizes the effectiveness of the weapon systems by expanding the battle space.
RJ, there's a possible roll-in on the move.
This integration produces synergies that increase the overall system performance and limit its vulnerability.
Concur. Inside point. Track 1522 is us.
The components of the system include space-based infrared sensors and forward-based radar systems, which can detect a threat missile launch. Ground-based early warning radars provide long-range detection and tracking of targets. Upgraded radars include Alaska's Cobra Dane, California's Pave Paws at Beale Air Force Base, and the United Kingdom's Filing Dales. Forward deployed sensors are transportable and are often co-located with interceptor systems. They can be cued by other radar systems and command and control sites to focus their beams for detailed target missile discrimination and tracking. Their data is forwarded to command and control units to determine impact areas and cue appropriate defenses. Interceptor systems provide overlapping protection against ballistic missiles of various ranges. The transportable Patriot PAC-3 is a fielded defense against short and medium-range missiles in the terminal phase. The Standard Missile 3 on board Aegis cruisers and destroyers intercepts short and medium-range missiles outside the Earth's atmosphere. Ground-based mid-course defense protects the United States against long-range missiles with its interceptors emplaced at Fort Greely, Alaska, and at Vandenberg Air Force Base, California. The terminal high-altitude area defense currently under testing for fielding in the near future will have the ability to engage in the terminal phase against short and medium-range threats. THAAD's X-band phased array radar delivers high power output and beam agility.
Monk Alpha, this is Inside Alpha, out.
The United States is cooperating with its allies to enhance global air defenses. Japan's self-defense forces actively participate in ballistic missile defense. They are equipping 4 Congo-class destroyers with the Aegis Spy-1 radar systems. An extensive command, control, battle management, and communications infrastructure is the foundation of this complex missile defense system. As the central nervous system of the missile defense architecture, this infrastructure encompasses specific unified combatant commands, which are organized by functional or geographic area of responsibility. U.S. Strategic Command plans and coordinates global ballistic missile defense operations. U.S. Pacific Command deters aggression and responds to crises in the Asia-Pacific region. U.S. Northern Command is responsible for defense of the homeland.
We participate in an extensive network with other combatant commands and other agencies so as to monitor countries who might be preparing a ballistic missile launch, the preparations leading thereto. If a launch occurs, we have sensors, Aegis maritime sensors. We've got forward-based X-band radars, sophisticated radars here in our own country, and the overhead systems under the control of Strategic Command, all of which collect information. That information is rapidly collated, analyzed, and then promulgated. And if the United States is the target, as the supported command for the United States, we have been given the authority to prepare those missiles and, if necessary, launch those missiles, ground-based mid-course interceptors, out of Fort Greely, Alaska, and Vandenberg. That's one of the things that we watch 7/24/365. It's this fusion of intelligence, then translation of that intelligence into a threat warning, an actual missile attack, and then the utilization of the system itself to prevent attack against the United States.
During a real-world missile event, the combatant commander must quickly identify and activate the right combinations of sensors and weapon systems in order to efficiently intercept enemy missiles. Each missile defense site has its own command and control center to collect data and disseminate information.
Sir, track 538 still has not been identified.
Command, control, battle management, and communications. The C2BMC conduits connect sensors to system operators, combatant commanders, and world leaders, while routing information to all participating defense sites and synchronizing the battlefield within seconds. Through multi-dimensional decision-making matrices, command and control becomes a force multiplier as it selects the missile defense system combinations with the highest success probabilities for each specific threat situation and frees other systems for new defense requirements.
The purpose then of the ballistic missile defense system is to take the world-class weapon systems and enable them to function and perform as a world-class team by compensating for each other's weaknesses and capitalizing on each other's strengths. It also provides the ability for the warfighters to adjust the performance of the weapon systems as the battle unfolds, thus taking our world-class weapon systems and having them succeed as a world-class team to protect our families, our deployed forces, and our allies.
In this series of scenarios, the infrared satellites detect and type 4 independent missile launches by gathering data from the plumes. Data defines each missile's profile and provides information on acceleration, velocity, and burn time. One threat is typed as a short-range missile. The second threat is typed as medium range. The satellites downlink data to ground stations and cue appropriate sensors within the calculated initial flight path region. Several launches prompt a queuing to the forward-based X-band radar deployed in Japan. This transportable ANTPY-2 phased array radar provides detection, tracking, and discrimination early in a missile's trajectory. The forward-based radar then cues an Aegis Spy-1, also within the region. The Spy-1 S-band phased array radar on board U.S. Navy Aegis cruisers and destroyers feeds long-range surveillance and tracking information into the system.
Missile Defense, this is Paul Hamilton. Probable launch, over.
TAC-CC, probable launch based on increasing speed, increasing altitude. TAC, concur, probable launch. Impact point is track 1522. Track is other.
U.S. Pacific Command is engaged to carry out its mission to defend the Pacific region. PACOM headquarters expedites global communications with other command and control sites. The Pacific Air Operations Center at Kenny headquarters on Hawaii's Hickam Air Force Base plans and executes air operations throughout the Asia-Pacific region for PACOM. The center's communication lines link it to all participants throughout the multidimensional battle space.
Missile launch. You guys have the specifics on that launch?
Soon to be deployed, the Global Engagement Manager is designed to support the command structure.
The XT operating at 100%.
The GEM works in concert with Pacific Command and monitors the unfolding battle from numerous angles and depths. It analyzes the data, then seamlessly interjects missile defense assignment recommendations by matching inventory specifications against the identified targets without depleting the arsenal, but reserving it for future attacks.
U.S. PACOM Jock, Air Missile Defense Desk.
This is AOC Jock. Currently, we have hostiles in the area.
Roger, copy all.
I'm just calling to confirm and make sure you guys have the same air picture that we have.
Concur with your assessment.
Jock Director, prepare the commander for a conference call.
EA, connect me to the commander for a flash message.
Simultaneous alerts are instantaneously transmitted to the Secretary of Defense through the National Military Command Center at the Pentagon and to the President of the United States through the White House Situation Room.
We have a possible Scud with an impact point in South Korea. Possible impact point in Japan for the no-dawn tracks. Stand by for coordinates.
Sergeant Fessler, bring up the Resource Utilization Manager screen.
Roger, looks like the Patriot battery have better visibility on that one here.
The U.S. Army's Patriot PAC-3 is a battle-proven defense against short and medium-range threats during their terminal or final phase of flight. The Patriot Battalion Tactical Operations Center gives field commanders the hardware and software for tactical planning, communications, and situational awareness.
Give me an update on Delta Battery's radar.
So we got impact point at Charlie 55122.
Make sure everybody's tracking this TBM. All right. XO, got some.
Hey, right there.
Let's go launch. Good launch. Good launch, masked up.
Factory, you're clear to fire when ready. System locked on. Over.
Clear to fire. 3, 2, 1. Missile away.
With the first threat down, the second one is still heading towards Japan. The GEM automatically recommends redirecting of the forward-based X-band radar from South Korea back to Japan. One of the Japanese Navy's Kongo-class destroyers, equipped with the Spy-1 radar, tracks the missile threatening its area.
Bring up that fan right there. Roger, showing the Aegis fan should have all tracks within sight of their view.
Okay.
For enhanced target definition, the GEM reassigns the U.S. Aegis destroyer to also track the threat to Japan.
RC landing ready. CSC RC spies up 360 high power.
Command and Control selects the Aegis ship as the weapon platform for launching its Standard Missile 3 to intercept the medium-range threat.
Fireball, fireball, fireball.
Confirm ballistic. Impact point 1522.
4, 3, 2, 1. Fire authorized.